Oh, I know what we missed.
What's that?
The card of the week.
Oh, the card of the week. That was a pretty good segue. I didn't even think about that one. I was ready to do a different segue, but yeah, the card of the week. So we've talked about quite a few Magic cards the past few weeks, but today we are talking about a Pokemon card.
Yay, Pokemon.
Jim.
Yeah.
Which one are we talking about
We're
today?
talking about Lysandre.
Oh, Lysandre.
Giovanni? What are we talking? Guzma? Who are we talking about, Dan?
Yes, all of them. So I actually didn't know this, right? So first of all, let's talk about the card, right? The card is Boss's Orders, okay? So it is a supporter. The one that I'm holding in front of me is Giovanni, okay? And the card states, switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon with their active Pokemon. So it's a supporter, and in Pokemon, you can only play one supporter each turn, okay? You can play as many items as you want, but supporters, you can only play one. Boss's Order is like a staple in like every deck, I feel like.
Yeah, I think every single deck plays it.
Because essentially what a lot of the times, like even you yourself, like as the player, you're going to have like one or two main Pokemon. Like I know in the deck that I play, my Mew Genesect list, like Mew is the big damage output, right?
Yep.
It's you want to take out the one that's doing all the damage, right? So a lot of the times, like if that Pokemon's not doing too hot, you'll pull him back and put him on your bench, and then you'll put a different Pokemon as your active Pokemon. So like if you knock out that Pokemon, it's not that big a deal. You can still go to your turn. You put out your big damage output Pokemon in your active slot, and then you're back in the game, right? But when your opponent drops that Boss's Order, that plan is now out the window.
Yeah, your whole thought of I need to pull my monster back so it doesn't die.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming back up front.
It's gonna die.
It's gonna die.
I mean, how many that has happened so many times to every Pokemon player, so many times.
So the original card was called Lysandre, and it is the exact same effect, and that card has I've seen so many top decks of Lysandre for game win or some way to get a Lysandre either from the deck or from the discard, and you Lysandre for the win. It's extremely powerful
because like you're talking about for the win, right? There's also times where your Pokemon's health is low, right? That they're like 20, 30 HP away from being KO'd, right? So you pull them back, and then you put a full health Pokemon of like 240 HP or whatever into the active slot, and all right, well, my opponent can only do like 50 to 100 damage or something, right? So I'm safe.
Or as long as it's under 250 or whatever the amount
it is. Right. Then you're like, all right, well, I'm good. I'm safe unless they have Boss's Order, and then you're kind of screwed. And then they have it, right? So this card's not going anywhere. But like you were saying, is it used to be Lysandre, right? But now you're gonna have to explain like the evolution, I guess, of the card. Right, because now it's turned into Boss's Order, and there's so many different variations out there, but all have like the big bad bosses from the games and the series on it.
So I'm fairly certain it started off with Lysandre, who I believe was one of the big bad guy essentially from Generation 5 or Generation 6. And that was his card. It is the exact same effect. Target one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, put them into the active role. They later, once the card rotated out, everyone was very upset, right?
So the card is no longer played because it's rotated out. It's not legal in the current standard format.
So a lot of people were thinking that they were going to reprint Lysandre, except they were now in the 8th or the 7th generation of Pokemon at that time.
So Lysandre is no longer a thing, right?
Exactly. So they wanted to make new cards for the new villain. And that's when they came out with Guzma. He was a little bit similar, but I also think you would take one of your bench Pokemon and put it into your active. So you both
switched. You both switched.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then it's not the exact same card. It's very similar. Sometimes it's even better actually than just the Lysandre.
Yeah.
And then once again that card rotated out, they're just like, let's change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Now they came out with Boss's Order. Since Lysandre was a boss in one of the older Pokemon, same thing with Guzma. He was the leader of the Skull Gang. I forget what it was called. And so they all had their orders.
Oh, you're talking about Guzma?
Yeah, Guzma.
Gotcha.
So he was the leader of whatever group for Sun and Moon.
Right.
And then Giovanni is the leader from Generation 1.
Yep, Team Rocket.
Exactly. So they came out with Boss's Order since these other ones were previous bosses. And they're like, all right, you know what? Let's just come out with this whole thing. And then I believe going into the future of every single standard format, these cards will then be printed over and over again.
Yeah. So Guzma, the Guzma card states switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon with their active Pokemon. If you do, switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. So
still very good card.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Extremely powerful.
So like, and the funny thing is you can have both Guzma and Boss's Order. If you're playing in a format where
I believe you can't.
Really?
Because well, I know for Lysandre you can't because it's the same card, but maybe for Guzma. But Lysandre and Boss's Order, you cannot have more than 4.
That's right, because it's the exact same card. Yeah. But I was more saying Guzma.
Yeah.
So Guzma and Lysandre, for example, are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they could have made it like a special ruling in the game where you can't use Lysandre or Guzma 4 of if you have, whatever amount of Boss's Order.
Right.
Or mix and match the amount.
Right. So so like in my mind, it would be Lysandre and Boss's Order. You can only have a play set of one of them or 2 and 2 because those are the same card. But then you also could potentially have Guzma because that is a different card. But again, it all depends on the format, what the rulings of the format are, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, dude, Boss's Order is when I first saw that card, I'm like, I'm literally thinking, all right, I'm good. I'm fine. I've got a full health Pokemon in my active slot. I'm all right. And then I see that card. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
You did what now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like I wasn't surprised because it makes sense that there's cards that have that kind of effect. Yep. But yeah, it's very, very powerful. So, and then plus you think that even more so when you're doing it to your opponent.
The good thing about this card is it's not even just a pure offensive card.
Oh yeah.
Right? If you know your opponent has like a Pokemon that has a 3 retreat cost and there's no way they're retreating this one turn, you could be like, all right, let's bring that one out because I need a few turns to set up.
Right. Right. Or same thing where I know that they're going to kill my opponent or my Pokemon next turn. Yep. So I need to put their weakest Pokemon in their active slot to where I'm going to be okay. Yep. And they have to retreat it, which I know they can't or whatever the case may be. But yeah, like it's both offensive and defensive. Yep. And it's used and it's not like it's used more offensively than it is defensively either. It's probably used.
I would probably say it's more offensive.
I mean, it would
just because of how fast you can go in Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true. Especially taking like 3 prize cards potentially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy too. So yeah, that is card of the week.